One more in the state capitol to close out the day. What a busy day of championship basketball inside Reynolds Coliseum. And for Enka, Northwood, it's that long-awaited moment. The Chargers and Jets getting set to do battle of 30 win. Chargers team, and what a run it's been for that Enka crew. And now it comes down to this one moment for a state championship. Welcome back inside Reynolds Coliseum alongside my broadcast partner, Kevin Cantwell, Jason Patterson here. And Kevin, just a tremendous environment for basketball. We are getting set for our players to watch, getting set for our keys to the game. All that coming up for you on the other side of the break, as well as championship basketball.
With 4 strips of crispy bacon and rich melty cheese and 2 juicy charbroiled patties. Of course, no meeting can compete with this meat. Give in to the new Double Bacon Beast Burger at Hardee's and feed your happy.
At Ortho Carolina, personalized orthopedic care goes beyond my appointment. From the convenience of online scheduling to a friendly voice on the phone, I can schedule my visit on my time. And with after-hours urgent care and video visits, my pain doesn't have to be my problem anymore. Ortho Carolina, my care, my way. Schedule your appointment today at orthocarolina.com.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad. No problem.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builder's Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
With crispy bacon and fluffy eggs and melty cheese. Whoa. Beast mode doesn't have to stop for breakfast. Give in to the new Bacon Beast breakfast menu at Hardee's and feed your happy.
Final notes of our national anthem. And with that celebratory moment, we get ready for a little more basketball. Northwood, Chargers, Enka, Jets, state championship on the horizon. Let's take a look at our key players in this one, our Hardee's star players for this contest. And we begin with Olivia Porter. Actually, we're going to flip over, begin with Bentley Chalkley on the Enka side of things. You can see what she averages, over 20 per game, but also right at 8 rebounds, Coach. She's a multi-threat player for the Jets.
You know, Bentley she's an inside player. She's all-conference. She's very good inside. But the rebounding, that's what they have to watch. And she's going to... Offensive rebound is what she's good at.
Then you flip up over on the other side, Olivia Porter, the senior leader for this Northwood squad. She's the reason Coach Snipes and company find themselves coming in, among others, at 30-1 to this championship basketball game. You take a look at what she averages, also on the doorstep of 20 each time.
Olivia's the same type of player. Very close with the numbers, points she scores, and also rebound. Very similar player.
And these two getting just about set to roll here. And those are the players to watch. Let's shift gears and talk about your keys to the game, Coach, as we settle in on our Ingles food for thought. Ingles low prices, love the savings. Walk us through what you see it taking for these two teams to be successful.
Well, if everything stays the same, the first 3 games, the first half, there's a lot of nervous fear. I mean, because of where they're playing, what's at stake, okay? And they both play the same type of experience. Now, Enka got here. It's amazing. I'll say Cinderella, but Cinderella doesn't make it this far most of the time unless you're good, you know. And they got to keep the composure against pressure. You know, every game, stay out of foul trouble. make open shots. Both coaches saw they got to make open shots. It's hard to make open shots in this chip right away. We saw that in the last game because of the depth perception.
Not your historic high school environment, not what you've been playing in all season long.
No,
Those are the keys to the game, brought to you by our friends at Ingles. Low prices, love the savings. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. First for the Enka Jets. These are your West Shore home starting lineups. Jeter, Dill, Daves, the surrounding cast around Chocolate, and you see Merrill there to close out the starting five.
When you realize they had a losing record in the conference, came in 5th in the conference. In the first game they played in the playoffs, they were down 25 in the first half, knocked it to 9 at halftime, went back to 16 down, and came back and won in overtime. So
find themselves battling it out with these Chargers as we speak. Bell, Bland, Adams, Porter.
They don't quit.
Harvey, West Shore home starting lineup for the Chargers. Hands full today for Enka, though. They're 2 games above 500 on the year, as you alluded to, but they find themselves against this 30-win program. Who do you highlight maybe outside of Porter that you're watching today, Coach?
I think the whole starting five, I really do. They move the ball well, they score. I mean, if they take open shots, they take good shots. Both teams are well coached. You're going to see good shot selection.
Getting a little closer, starting lineups being announced in the building as we speak. Moving rendition of the national anthem just a little bit ago. And 3 champions having already been crowned here today. We had the West Charlotte Lions. Then, of course, everything going Bishop McGinnis's way a little bit earlier. And most recently, that overtime thriller you witnessed, in which Hayesville took home a crown a moment ago. Who will be the 4th team to join them from here? Also keeping an eye on all the championship contests taking place over in Chapel Hill at the Smith Center. That's where Patrick and Jay have been keeping an eye on things for you all day long. And just a great day when you reach championship Saturday in North Carolina. Carrie Snipes is at the helm of this Northwood Chargers program. What a program she has built. And we told you, just the one setback all season long for this squad. You got to go all the way back to the 18th of December in a 2-possession game against Millbrook as the only time things didn't go the Chargers' way this year.
That's big in a game like this, because if the game's close, now, how do you handle a close game? Now, Enka does know how to handle a close game.
They've been in a lot of them under Kyle Reagan. Coach Reagan in his 4th season. And you, as we discussed, can see how hard this team has scratched and clawed to put together a winning record. And they're hoping number 17 is going to be the fortuitous number. A 17th win would propel them to a championship here in 22. Well, Coach, stage set, starting lineup set. You've seen the coaches. It's those intangibles so often, though, on a day like this that it comes down to.
Emotions. It's all emotions. Where are they at? You know, and I know one thing, Enka's not going to quit. And if Northwood gets down or it's a close game, see how they handle the pressure.
We've talked about it throughout the day, but when you've got 15, 16, 17-year-old young ladies on the floor, you just don't know when you bring them into this environment exactly how it's all going to shake out.
Yeah, when we say, though, there's freshmen out there playing with seniors, well, that means there's a 14-year-old playing with 18-year-olds. Now, in college, you know, 18-year-olds are playing with 22-year-olds, but your body is made, you know, they're still growing here. So it's a big difference at this age of experience. It really is.
The communities of Pittsboro and Enka colliding. The Pittsboro crew from Northwood out of Central 3A, and the Jets of Enka out of the Mountain 3A. And the final championship of the day right around the corner as these teams shake hands at midcourt. 8 fresh minutes having been put up on that game clock, and just about ready to go at NC State. Pleasure to have had you with us throughout the day. For those of you just joining us, we've talked early and often about what it means to be at Reynolds. All the history that this building holds, all the basketball that it has seen. And we just saw an overtime championship game on the 1A boys side that has to be the latest chapter of the memorable moments in this place.
Oh, for sure. You know, there were great moments in here. And, you know, every case, if you, there's a history of the ACC is out, and I'm on the 7th episode. And just a real quick story, and I'm not here, but, you know, when I got into coaching as a head coach at Appalachian after Coach Crimmins and Bobby left and went to Georgia Tech. And my second game, I played Coach Krzyzewski. He was only in his 3rd year. That's when they didn't know if he was going to stay or not. And so I beat Coach K at his place. But Bobby left me a good team.
But then you came here.
Then 3 days later, I came here, and Coach Valvano, Jimmy, 42 points. Welcome to college basketball.
Well, and the other thing you've mentioned is just what a job they've done to turn this arena over, turn it into a pristine new facility with all its history. Of course, you got one of the top teams in the country playing here now on KL Court. You see Jim Valvano's name when you look to the left. You see that historic Reynolds name when you look to the right. And there is history everywhere in this building. A little more just about to be made in that youngster's lifetime as we get rolling between the Northwood Chargers and the Enka Jets. Here comes the opening tip as Northwood will control it as the 3A Girls Championship game is underway. Let's see what the first possession holds. You know, we didn't talk about this much, Coach, but it is worth discussing. These two teams been waiting around all day. Some of these teams got to play right out of the gate at 12. They've been sitting and waiting for their moment. You see if the nerves built throughout the day.
You're exactly right. And
first possession, kicked out top. Here's Bland, a little bit too strong. And that'll come down, going to go the other way. First possession coming for Enka, but that allows the nerves to build from about the time you wake up this morning all the way to tip-off.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's trying to go to sleep. You can't go to sleep. You can't take a nap.
Find your way to the capital city. Work your way into this historic venue. Now you got to settle in and play basketball. You've talked length of the court all day long. It is an issue. Location of the three-point line all day long. It is an issue. The team that shakes that off first so often has an advantage.
You're exactly right. And right now, Northwood depends on their pressure. Now, how do you full court pressure? You can't run full court pressure unless it's a dead ball, you score. So it's very important for Northwood to score.
There is a long three, and it will fall right through the hoop. Our first West Shore three-point basket drained by Skylar Adams. And it puts Northwood on the board. 3-0 Chargers. Here they come. Chargers up 5-0. Bucket laid home in the interior by Mayla Marve. And here's the takeaway. How about this starting spurt for Northwood? A 5-0 run that may grow. Little stop pop for Bell. Won't work. Stays on this end, though. And now disrupted and forced out. Northwood flipping a switch there all of a sudden.
Coach Snipes depends on her pressure. That's the key to them being successful. And they've already got 3 turnovers, Enka.
Boy, great inbound play drawn up and completed by Takia Brand.
And here, so you have to put the right people in the right spot here. Someone has to be in the middle of the court here.
Takia Bland stretches it to 7-0 on the other end of the floor, blocked by Bland and company. And here that quickly comes Adams. Going to swing it out. Another West Shore home three. This one off the front of the iron. Little clasp of the hands from Natalie Bell as the senior tried to get that to go. Boy, that would have been a 10-0 run to start the game had that fallen for Bell.
You know, the key to breaking a press is having the right people in the right spots. Right now, Enka is going to have somebody in the middle to help them.
Another beautifully executed inbound play to Mila Marve. Marve, another of those senior leaders for Northwood. It is 9-0 Chargers, and numbers, to say the least, will result in an 11-0 lead as Natalie Bell lays it home, and you might have expected timeout being called for as Enka finds a 11-0 hole in effect right out of the gate.
Right, and one thing you don't want to do against a zone press is dribble the ball. You want to just stand there, pass it back and forth, get it from one side to the other, and don't dribble the ball right into it. So Enka, I think Coach is talking to them right now.
I think I know what Northwood did all day while they had the layoff waiting on the other 3 games to finish. They were drawing up inbound plays. How about the job underneath the bucket on the first couple of inbound looks they had?
They're good plays. The defense was behind the play when he scored. Really bad.
A little easier to lay home, you're right. But an 11-0 run to start the basketball game for the Chargers of Northwood. Northwood Chargers, they worked their way through quite the gauntlet to get here. Swansboro back-to-back as they end up picking up a 64-7 win. Triton Was Kenner Williams, Terry Sanford, the crew they worked through in order to make their way to Raleigh. We'll talk to you about Enka's path here in just a moment. But Jets looking for the first points of the day. There they are. Shot put up by Hadley Dill and the junior, the first in the scorebook for the crew out of Western North Carolina.
First time they got a good shot, and they didn't turn it over. That was nice what they did against the press. They swung it to the other side.
Enka, of course, on the road from the get-go after a 5-7 conference slate. Won at Hickory, at Freedom. Defeated Ben L. Smith, won at Parkwood. Handled North Davidson 51-49 in that thriller to earn the trip to Raleigh. Those are the two journeys for these teams. And a foul called as out top. A whistle going to go against Lasiah Faison Jeter. Faison Jeter whistled for the first personal.
I didn't see that. I thought the girl setting the screen really didn't move either. I thought they called it on her. Same play. And almost got it again. But this time they dropped back and deflected it.
5:04 to play in this opening period. Jets with a bucket, but the Chargers well out front and with the basketball. Toss out far side. Left-handed dribble down the lane. A little underneath, but it's going to be gathered up by Hannah Daves. Here come the Jets. Lady Jets swing a pass far side. Here's Harwood. Only for a moment. Our player to watch, Shockley. Dribbles with the right hand out top. A little bit of separation there. Off the window. Hadley Dill with a solid start. She has the first couple of buckets for Enka.
The key to Enka's game is to get the ball over half court, and they get good looks. They run a good offense. The depth perception is not bothering Northwood.
No worries there. 14-4, the Chargers lead. From distance, they knock it down. And then to the hoop quickly. Everything right now on the shoulders of the junior Hadley Dill.
And Dill, you know, she's a 1,000-point scorer. She's over 500 rebounds, so she's a very good player.
When you've scored 1,000 in the career, as she has, the environment is never going to be too large. Certainly not the case for Dill here. Weaving around to lay it home is Olivia Porter. There's one of our players we keyed on in the open. The senior takes it to a 10-point advantage at 16-6. Get a foul out top. As Bolajak was moving with the basketball. That foul stops things at 3:27 to play. Breather coming. Media timeout on the floor. Mid-first. Chargers out front early.
I got my COVID-19 vaccine because I want to work towards a more normal world in the classroom and for sports and my grandparents.
I got vaccinated because I love my family. I love my friends.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to schedule your child's COVID-19 vaccine today.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you, shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
Mornings just got doubly delicious at McDonald's with the 2 is always better than 1 deal. Start your day with a mouthwatering crispy chicken biscuit and large hot brewed coffee. Or get a savory sausage biscuit and one of your other McDonald's favorites for just $1 more. Choose from a crispy chicken biscuit, sausage biscuit, sausage McMuffin, or large hot brewed coffee. Mix and match them. When you buy one, get one for $1. Only at McDonald's.
16 on the board for the Northwood Chargers. 9 of them off turnovers in the early going for Northwood. And the Lady Jets of Enka.
Enka's only taken 4 shots.
In with the basketball. And 3 of those, by the way, the 6 points that went down behind the good, solid work of Dill thus far. Up the floor with it for Northwood. Bell Bell, the only player out of that group that has been on the floor the majority of the time. Still looking to become involved, stat sheet-wise. Things being led by 5 of Adams, 5 of Porter, and we get a whistle here. As the chance is coming following the foul on Dill. That's the first personal on Dill. Just the second whistle on Enka thus far. And our initial look at the Builders Discount Center free throw line for Mila Marve. Been busy in the early stages already. 4 points to her credit. Looking for a fifth. Rims off the front. How about the putback? True for Olivia Porter. 7 for Porter. 19-6 Chargers. Here's Dill taking care of business for the Super Jets. And a foul call as the battle for the basketball in the interior continues. Just under 3 minutes to play, opening period. Final game of a 4-game day in Raleigh, North Carolina here at Reynolds Coliseum. And it's a 3A title contest. This Enka team having made that tremendous run. We talked about it at Hickory, at Freedom, Ben L. Smith, at Parkwood, North Davidson. And some nail biters, 56-54 against Ben L. Smith. 51-49, that contest against North Davidson to punch the ticket here to Raleigh. But trying to hang close right now against the Northwood team, having compiled 30 wins and having put together a 19-6 lead here in the first. Boy, that high off the glass and forced down as Marve has another bucket. Pressure there, Coach.
Yeah, they have to take care of the basketball. They turned it over 2 or 3 more times.
And it's going to be a foul call as Dill was trying desperately to work it across the timeline. Northwood foul will be against Olivia Porter. That's 2 on Porter, and that's both of the fouls having been whistled on the Chargers in this first period. Shockley tried to get it to Dill, but off her fingertips.
They can't get turnovers. They're not getting any shots at the basket.
Another miscue. Yeah, we said it, already double-digit points off of turnovers during that early run for the Chargers.
Enka's struggling to play the man-to-man defense. I wonder if they will adjust to this.
That was a monster 3. Did not go. And quickly out into the hands of Dill again. Drive into the bucket and drawing contact is Enka's Chockley. Well, to the line, Chockley for Builders Discount Center free throws. Builders Discount, don't just build tough.
When they take care
goes down the first, goes actually back of the iron, pops back out.
When they take care of the ball, they're getting good shots. The problem is they just can't get in and take shots.
Running themes through what we've seen through the first 3 contests today, Coach. What sticks out to you from this full day of basketball to this point?
Well, this game right here, they're putting the ball in the basket.
A little different from what we saw at the start of the prior contest. You're right.
That was a halftime score.
The overtime thriller. Yeah, 21 already on the board for the Chargers. Make it 23. Laid home once more by Takia Bland. Bland already involved.
What a move that was. She's just a junior.
3 ball. High off the bank.
Any way it would go in, do it.
Well, and that's West Shore home 3 for Shockley. And it was needed for the Jets. Lead at 13 with just over a minute to play in period number 1. Kyle Reagan will take it. He's hoping his team can close this quarter out strong. Remember, it was a double-digit run to start the contest for Coach Snipes and Northwood. And a tie-up possession arrow will keep it right where it is.
Here's the out-of-bounds play.
Memorable 12th day of March in the state of North Carolina. Already having converted on 2 of these inbound plays. Northwood, far better defended this time by Enka. 47 ticks remaining on the first period game clock. Slowing it up out top. was Porter. This will go inside.
Nice play.
Laid home. Everybody into the game, making a contribution in the game. There's Caroline Allen, another senior. She'll be in the scorebook of the state championship game. Allen now trying to defend Gill, and a foul called as she goes to the deck.
Adams made a really good pass down there for that basket.
Well, and Caroline Allen into the game provides some size here. She's up over 6 feet for Northwood. Had an offensive contribution on the other end of the floor. Here whistled for the foul as Dill knocks down the first of the Builders Discount Center free throws. 26.2 remaining. Substitution coming for the Super Jets of Enka. As standing by at the scorer's table is Keisha Adajadu. She'll now go back toward that bench as it looks like the quarter's going to play out before she hears a horn. No horn after that free throw sequence. Well, tossed underneath. How about the vision? Pointing back after the assist to Gianna McManaman, who delivered that to the interior. The finish stretching the lead to 27-11 after one.
Yeah, that was a back pick, and it should have got help. They didn't switch, and it goes wide open. She was wide open.
Well, everybody Northwood has put on the floor contributing in a first period surge.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builders Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build, build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
Parenthood. Not a job for the faint of heart.
Go easy on the brake.
It takes nerves of steel, patience of a saint, and a pretty strong grip on your senses. At Ingalls, we know that part of being a good parent is knowing when to hold on for dear life and knowing when to let go. So here's to the moms and dads who board this roller coaster, knowing they're in for the ride of a lifetime. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
Something happened to me that day. I've never heard or felt anything like it.
I found the girl. Her powers are beginning to manifest. We can use her.
Superheroes aren't real, right?
But what if they are?
What's happening? I need answers.
We need to get you ready.
Stay back! There's something I need to tell you.
Naomi.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you. Shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
I got my COVID-19 vaccine because I want to work towards a more normal world in the classroom and for sports and my grandparents.
I got vaccinated because I love my family. I love my friends.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to schedule your child's COVID-19 vaccine today.
The Sugar Jets of Enka set to inbound the basketball, trailing the Chargers of Northwood. 27-11. And Sugar Jets going to work this inbound. The grasp of Anna Day. Far side, here's Dill. Dill, who had the first 6 points for Enka. A little too strong this go-around, and Northwood's quickly back up the floor. Too much air underneath that as it will be out of bounds. Checking the numbers for you. 12 of 19 for Northwood's 4 of 6 from the field for Enka thus far. Coach, 14 points off turnovers for Northwoods. Here's a look at the numbers in full. Our Legacy Federal Credit Union first quarter stats. Be your best you with the Legacy Federal Credit Union. What are you watching numbers-wise, Coach?
Just Enka's not getting any shots. You know, it goes back to you can't score unless you shoot it.
Well, getting a chance to try it once, twice, if not 3 times on this end of the floor. Possession arrow is with Northwood, so it'll be the Chargers basketball after the tie-up. individuals, 7 for Porter, 7 for Marve, 7 for Dill, the total now on the Enka side of things, in addition to that duo for Northwood. This is a West Shore 3. True. Sinking it is face on Jeter. And that is something else. Or check that. McManaman again, who had the great assist earlier. Corrections on my part. McManaman then turns around and shows she can also shoot the lights out. Well, that was a shot from outside. Here's what's been happening in the interior. A major advantage for Northwood there as well. And a look at our Hardy's points in the paint.
Well, that's what happens when you turn it over. It's getting up to be layups. You know, so that's what's getting the ball in the paint. Enka is shooting a better percentage than Northwood, but they're taking about, 15 less shots.
Hardy's will be tracking the points in the paint all day long. And Hardy's reminds you, keep an eye on the new Bacon Beast menu. Crispy bacon in a burger, biscuit, breakfast burrito, your choice. All brought to you by our friends at Hardy's. There's the DPS free throw, which rims off right side from Dill. All of our free throws in the second and third quarters brought to you by the Department of Public Safety. Go to ncdps.gov/careers to find out where you fit in. North Carolina DPS. Under 7 to play, 30 on the board for the Chargers already. We didn't have 30 until into the fourth period in the gentlemen's contest just a little bit earlier. And down hard to the floor goes Gianna McManaman. McManaman has shown her ability to distribute. She hit the big West Shore 3 just a moment ago, and now here she goes to the charity stripe. She'll have Department of Public Safety free throws to try and knock down, and will. So she's been contributing in a variety of different ways already for the Chargers.
They're a very well-balanced team. They really are. And the defense that Enka's playing is not putting any pressure on them to turn it over or anything. So they're getting good looks at the basket.
Enka, of course, known as, and you see the moniker on that jersey, Sugar Jets, as they make it up the floor here. All kinds of contact just shy of the baseline. As Enka's Bentley Chockley was working toward the hoop. She'll go to the North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throw line. Subbing in for Northwoods is Talia Bell. And you hear the horn that will welcome her into the contest. There's a seat for McManaman, has been a major contributor on both ends of the floor in recent moments. So the free throw, good. Jets with 14 on the board now, but the Chargers still well out front. As we play in the mid-second quarter. Hard off the glass, won't go, put back does. Right place, right time. Northwood making every trip down the floor count right now.
And what happened there, the defender had to come and help and left her girl wide open in the basket.
Far side, go with Dave's coming to the basketball. Shockley dribbling to some open floor space. And now trying to go right down the heart of the paint. And a whistle. Holding those hands up in the air a little bit longer. Caroline Allen trying to sell that. We'll see who the foul is on. Don't think it necessarily was Allen. And it's not. That's Olivia Porter, who's picked up a second personal here. So, sell job works. Wasn't her. Ended up going on one of her teammates. And first of the North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throws falls right through the hoop. Shockley. Just too much on the next one as it's back of the iron. Off the floor. Looking interior. Well, beautiful pass. Just maybe a little too deep in there for Northwood's Mila Marve. Here's Enka with a chance after an unfruitful trip. Taken away. Porter. Bucket off the left side of the glass. Porter, a scorer. We talked about the 7 she had at last check of the stat sheet. closing in on double figures. Harvey, same story. Land with 6. You talked about how balanced this Northwood team is. They have shown it. And Enka inside today. And a bucket true. Enka fans on their feet. Trying to get in behind these Sugar Jets mid-second to see if they can will them back into this contest. On the scoreboard, Jets with 17 posted. Chargers with a turnover, and Enka needing those tight trips down the floor right now.
And the thing, Enka didn't create that turnover. She just walked, just moved, shuffle her feet. So Enka's got to do something. They're getting good shots. Not just getting good shots. They have to do something to create some problems.
Yes, but we'll take it. The point there that they need, whatever the case, chances to score after Northwood either stops or miscues. There is one. They make it count as it's laid home by Dill. Dill, the leading scorer for Enka. And the Jets now have pulled to within 17. But this thing stretched out in the blink of an eye at the start of the contest. And the Jets forcing a turnover here, or at least coming up with a stop, it looked like. But the turnover going to be into the hands of Bell when all is said and done, as it belongs to Northwood again. 3 ball. That is troublesome for an Enka team trying to claw back. And just when they do, Natalia Bell drains the West Shore home 3.
Northwood wins the three-point shooting contest today because no one's shot the ball like that.
Yeah, you're not just talking about in this game. You're talking about across all games.
Yeah,
here's a 3 ball on the other end. And that's going to rim off after Shockley tried to shoot it from deep. And a little pound to the fist on the floor for Faison Jeter as the whistle comes with 3.5 to play in the first half of action. That's our break as well. You'll be back to Raleigh right after this.
A good game if they...
100 counties in North Carolina, we have over 800 agents. We are within the communities, and our job is to help you. It's not just a business relationship, it's a friendship. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you. Shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
Well, fans enjoying today's festivities, and those of all ages, understanding what a pleasure it is to see your community compete in a state championship environment. And Northwood in complete control, 39-19 at the moment. Enka with that deficit of 20, looking for some defensive pressure here. There it is. And a potential fast break snuffed out by Bell, who was able to get a fingertip on it to swat it away, and that'll allow the defense to be set up by Northwoods as the Sugar Jets inbound.
Enka's taken 13 less shots than Northwood, and that's where the change comes from.
Hill has been the leader, 10 points already. In fact, she's the only player on both sides already in double figures. They get it inside to Daves. Now looking well out front. Adams tried to corral that, but too much underneath it. Well, you'll want to stick around at the end of this contest. We'll have our player of the game brought to you by West Shore Home, bringing happiness to every home. That's West Shore Home, sponsors of tonight's player of the game. Having crossed over 8 p.m. here in the capital city of North Carolina. 2:33 is what is about to be crossed over remaining in the first half of basketball. Top of the key. Back of the iron. out of bounds underneath will stay on this end of the floor. Official getting ready for the inbound here. Didn't mention it earlier, but the Southeast Association represented by Frank Johnson, Connie Thomas, who just handed the basketball off there, and Tommy Brigman. Those are our three officials in this contest. It's an honor to officiate a state championship game, just like it is an honor to play in a state championship game. And those three doing a nice job with this 3A battle tonight. 2 minutes remaining, opening half, and a West Shore three knocked down with ease this time for Olivia Porter. She's in double figures on the night. Inside, there's Deal. Deal couldn't grab it. And a traveling violation assessed as a result. Going to be Bell inbounding underneath. Got a crew from Charlotte in the last one. We get a crew from the southeast portion of the state in this one. And all of our officials who worked so hard to very little praise in most cases. Doing great work on this championship Saturday. Northwoods, one thing you notice about them right away, Coach, and it happens again here as Bland points backward after the bucket. They make it a point, a literal point, to draw attention to the catalyst for each of those scores. They really are big on the assist game, and it shows.
Oh, I tell you what, and making threes makes, you get an assist when you make that pass. So they're looking good. What are they, 5? The 5 is 7 from the threes. But that's not the difference in the game. The difference is Enka's got to get more shots at the basket.
Into Enka.
Not turn it over.
Haley Harwood, and Harwood tried to swing that quickly far side, but it's thrown out of bounds. Will be Northwood's basketball. Well, we'll have a player of the game, yes. We'll also have a play of the game before we're done. Start the conversation, stop underage drinking. That's a challenge from Talk It Out North Carolina, and they are the sponsors of tonight's play of the game.
Enka's already has 11 turnovers. As a college coach, when you get up to 11, 15, I tell you what, you're screaming at your team. That's not what you want. So that's a lot of turnovers right now.
Well, and you remember how many of those points off turnovers have drive that Chargers double-digit spurt to start the game, that run that allowed Northwood to build the advantage they still enjoy. 44-19, under a minute to play. And here's a little touch foul, going to give the opportunity to head to the stripe. Yet another of the North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throws coming. Let's give you that address one more time, ncdps.gov/careers. Many of you out there may be looking for what the next step is going to be in your journey. They encourage you to check them out at the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. Well, you want to stick around. About 52 seconds from now, the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. Mr. Tucker, highlight stats, whole lot more, all a part of our halftime report right around the corner now. There's Bell. Some in the crowd screaming one shot here. And Coach Reagan, he wanted a whistle and the basketball going the other way. Thought perhaps the line was stepped on right in front of his bench. No dice this go round, and Northwood still hanging on to it with under 20 seconds to play and a half. They have dominated. 30 wins against 1 loss, 12-0 in Central 3A.
Set play.
The crew out of Pittsburgh with the basketball. Go time with 5 seconds left. Off the window. And that's indicative of the half for Olivia Porter as it builds the lead to 46-21.
Coach Snipes told me one thing: we have to make open shots. Well, guess what? They're making open shots.
We've had a pair of 3A games, a pair of 1A games in this building today. 46 points, an accomplishment regardless of the classification, as the Chargers take a commanding lead into the locker room.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
West Shore Home is the easiest solution on the market for shower and bath remodeling. And today I'm joined by Kirsten to see why so many homeowners trust West Shore with their shower and bath project.
So Joe, every year thousands of homeowners use us for their bath or shower remodel. We make it so easy and convenient. Check us out online. You're going to see thousands of reviews, customers raving about West Shore Home.
Yeah, check them out. It's like one 5-star review after another. It's really impressive. Now, I know a lot of people are getting ready to start their project now. Anything special you can do for them?
So Joe, anyone who's looking to update their shower or bath should definitely give us a call. We're offering 5 years of 0% interest financing plus 50% off the cost of installation. Take a look at some of these jobs we've done recently. The work turns out amazing.
Folks, you heard Kirsten. West Shore Home helps tens of thousands of homeowners every year. And give them a call now and take advantage of that great offer. It's 5 years of 0% interest financing plus 50% off the cost of installation. Call West Shore Home now.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Crispy fish with that spicy kick. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you. Shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
You're watching the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. COVID-19 vaccines are available to everyone 5 and older and boosters for 12 and older. Find them at myspot.nc.gov.
First half in the books. Northwood off to a surge at the beginning of this basketball game, and the 30-win Chargers holding a sizable advantage at the break. When you reflect upon what we have seen here today, championships for the Lions of West Charlotte or Bishop McGuinness on the women's side. We had an overtime thriller just a bit earlier that Hayesville claimed to take a title back to Jacket Land, and Northwood off to a solid start. Coach Kerry Snipes and company with a halftime advantage that is sizable. When you return, all the features involved in the halftime show on the other side of the break.
Sometimes playing our best game means changing our approach. Think about your favorite sport. For me, that's soccer. When you're playing a new team and you use a new move against them, you score. But once the rival team sees your moves, they can prepare against your team in the future. That's how viruses, like the coronavirus, work. Which means as new variants pop up, we have to adapt to defend ourselves. COVID-19 vaccines help our bodies recognize the virus and the different variants. They are our best defense against COVID-19, so don't wait to vaccinate. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
Mornings just got doubly delicious at McDonald's with the 2 is always better than 1 deal. Choose from a crispy chicken biscuit, sausage McMuffin, or large hot brewed coffee. Mix and match. When you buy one, get one for $1.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builder's Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
Mornings just got doubly delicious at McDonald's with the 2 is always better than 1 deal. Choose from a crispy chicken biscuit, sausage McMuffin, or large hot brewed coffee. Mix and match. When you buy one, get one for $1.
You're watching the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. COVID-19 vaccines are available to everyone 5 and older and boosters for 12 and older. Find them at myspot.nc.gov.
Welcome in, Commissioner Tucker. It's great to have you back after another successful season. How good is it to be back in the Smith Center at Reynolds Coliseum for the championships?
Well, it is so good that I can hardly contain myself in trying to describe it. It's been 2 years almost to the date when we had to postpone and then ultimately cancel our state championships. Even though we had championships last year and they were in great venues of our high schools, on our high school campuses, but to be back in our old stomping grounds, so to speak, it just is a good feeling. It makes us feel like we're getting back to what is more normal.
How did the regional championships go at all the sites across the state?
I thought for the most part, every comment I heard has been very positive. We had been thinking about the fifth round being in a neutral facility and looking at some of the large high schools, but it was difficult to be able to do that prior to some teams not advancing. And so some of those large high schools stepped forward and said, you know what, we'll host. And they did a wonderful job.
So many exciting games this weekend. What are you most looking forward to?
As I am a former basketball coach, I always am excited to just be able to watch the game be played. So just to be able to get into the Smith Center, get into Reynolds, and be able to see basketball is always just a thrill for me. But what I enjoy the most is being able to look at the faces of the young people as they compete, to watch the coaches as they're on the sidelines trying to get them to perform at their highest level. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And then, of course, you can't dismiss the fans. They all come in. They all know how to coach that game. They all know how to officiate that game. And so just to watch them and to just experience them experiencing the game is really just exciting.
Shifting gears a bit to the organizational side of the association, can you provide an update on the NCHSAA's progress towards a memorandum of understanding with the State Board of Education?
Well, since November, House Bill 91 obviously was signed by Governor Cooper back then. Since that time, our executive committee, along with our full board of directors, have been working with the Board of Education to carve out the memorandum of understanding. There were some rules that had to be crafted, drafted, so to speak. And then once those rules were put in place, or at least were put on paper, then we went about the business of trying to get the memorandum of understanding to something that would still be of benefit to not only the organization itself, but to all boys and girls across the state. So we now have a memorandum of understanding that has not been signed, but our board has essentially said we will approve of what we've been able to carve out. Right now, the process, the voting is underway, and then it'll be about the bylaws and trying to make sure that they all work together. And then it goes into effect July 1, 2022.
Thank you for your time, Commissioner Tucker, and congratulations on a great season.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in North Carolina.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
Mornings just got doubly delicious at McDonald's with the 2 is always better than 1 deal. Start your day with a mouthwatering crispy chicken biscuit and large hot brewed coffee. Or get a savory sausage biscuit and one of your other McDonald's favorites for just $1 more. Choose from a crispy chicken biscuit, sausage McMuffin, or large hot brewed coffee. Mix and match them. When you buy one, get one for $1. Only at McDonald's.
Get the Planet Fitness Black Card, our most popular membership for zero enrollment and only $22.99 a month. With access to 2,000 plus locations, bring a friend every time you visit.
I love friends.
And relaxing massage chairs.
That makes me so happy.
The PF Black Card is your ticket to all the perks.
Look at that glow.
It's all natural.
It's this place, I tell you. So get glowing and feel fit-tacular for zero enrollment and only $22.99 a month. Deal ends Wednesday, March 16th.
You're watching the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. COVID-19 vaccines are available to everyone 5 and older and boosters for 12 and older. Find them at myspot.nc.gov.
Teams back out on the floor at Reynolds Coliseum with Northwood, a commanding lead against Enka. And we welcome you back inside alongside my broadcast partner, Kevin Cantwell, Jason Patterson here. Been a real pleasure to have you with us throughout the day today as North Carolina State Championships have rolled on. And, Coach, this was a dominant performance for Northwood, especially that early spurt when they rolled out to a double-digit lead right away.
You're right, Jason. You know, Coach Snipes has to be happy. Defensively, they created turnovers, and offensively, they have 5 for 8 from the threes. They're shooting the ball well. Everything's working perfect for Northwood, and Enka's having a rough time. They're not turning it over. The last 5 minutes, they didn't turn it over very much, but they're struggling to put the ball in the basket.
Here's how it looked in the first half. Highlights from the opening 2 quarters. And, Coach, again, you look at that double-digit run before Enka ever got on the board, and that has stood throughout this half, and so many different contributors. I mean, you're looking at the stat sheet right now, and you have, for Northwood, you got 7 different players that have scored at one time or another, and you'll see most of them in this highlight package.
You know, they have a nice balanced team, a lot of depth. Everything's working on his night.
And here's Olivia Porter. She has led the way with 14 points in the first half. In fact, she's one of 2 double-digit scorers. Dill on the other side for Enka with 10 in the first half. Here's how all the numbers bear themselves out. Our Legacy Federal Credit Union Be Your Best You halftime stats.
Well, if you only, there's 16 shots Enka's taking, and Northwood's taking 30. That's a lot. And that's pushing the turnovers. And then the turnovers are leading into easy baskets. And that's what's giving Northwood a good lead.
Those numbers bear out. A team scoring almost 50 in the first half and well out front. Third quarter coming up on the other side of the break from Raleigh. State Championship Saturday in the state capitol.
With 4 strips of crispy bacon and rich melty cheese and 2 juicy charbroiled patties. Of course, no meeting can compete with this meat. Give in to the new Double Bacon Beast Burger at Hardee's and feed your happy.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builder's Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
Sometimes playing our best game means changing our approach. Think about your favorite sport. For me, that's soccer. When you're playing a new team and you use a new move against them, you score. But once the rival team sees your moves, they can prepare against your team in the future. That's how viruses, like the coronavirus, work. Which means as new variants pop up, we have to adapt to defend ourselves. COVID-19 vaccines help our bodies recognize the virus and the different variants. They are our best defense against COVID-19, so don't wait to vaccinate. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
With crispy bacon and fluffy eggs and melty cheese. Whoa. Beast mode doesn't have to stop for breakfast. Give in to the new Bacon Beast breakfast menu at Hardee's and feed your happy.
Completely different story for Northwood than that most recent contest. Remember, they held on for a 51-50 win over Terry Sanford in order to reach the state championship game. That 30-1 mark they posted along the way, and looking as a result with this sizable advantage for a first championship in any sport for the Chargers if they can get the job done here. Enka with the first possession of the second half. And there you see the head coach, Carrie Snipes, from Triangle area here, Chapel Hill. What she's done with this crew at a Central 3A and the green and gold. You talk history a lot, Coach, and we can say second championship for this team, fifth championship for this team. Nothing like a first, and she has her team on the verge of not only a first title in girls basketball for Northwood, but you're talking about a first championship across all sports for that school. It's something nobody can ever take away if they're able to hold on here in the second half.
And it's going to be a special environment when they go back to school.
Well, in command 46-23 as we begin the second half. I'll ask you about adjustments for Enka right now. What do they need to do in order to try to at least hang around, maybe tighten this thing up down the stretch?
I think the big thing is, I don't know, defensively, if they come out with a zone, I'm not sure they play zone. But they need to change up their defense because Northwood's getting some easy looks.
Right in the heart of it. There's Daves. And enough disruption for Northwoods. In that Terry Sanford contest, by the way, Marvey with the steal. Just as it looked like there was going to potentially be a Terry Sanford bucket with a moment or so left, and then back-breaking free throws. Three-pointers, Olivia Porter down the stretch along the way, and then Bell and Adams pitching in. I mean, that was the snapshot of what you said when we showed the starting lineups earlier. It was a complete effort to win that 51-50 game. We've seen a complete effort in this 46-point surge in the first half here in the state championship.
They're very composed. They really are. You don't see any nerves.
Everybody,
and they have depth.
Everybody a contributor. It was Marvey, who we just talked about, who had that big steal in the semifinal. Tried to lay this home. Wasn't to be. Toss out, Enka. Weaving through. How about that look for Enka? And the bucket in order
Full court
for
pressure.
Adajadu.
Adjustment.
That's Keisha Adajadu, the senior. And then back on the other end. Bland keeps trying, keeps fighting. And a couple of shots going to be earned as the whistle will send him to the line for the North Carolina DPS free throws.
You know, when you make an adjustment and the coach felt like they need a trap, if you don't do it a lot, that's what happens. The ball goes over their head and there's somebody wide open in the basket.
Yeah, it's easy to say, do this, don't do that, now that you're in a different matchup. But when you've been playing a style of basketball all season long, or for a lifetime in some cases in these communities, it is easier said than done.
You have to practice how to play zone defense, pressure defense.
Switch up here and now as Enka will stand by and watch these knocked down by Takia Bland. Junior stretching it out to 47-25. And there is ability to break that pressure. And the Sugar Jets will. Down the left side, and then a blocking foul is going to be called. Just as Enka Shockley was trying to work to the bucket.
Shockley wants that ball. She's been dribbling a lot. She wants to score.
That foul is a third on Marvey. And quick inbound. Lozaya Faison Jeter had it for a moment. Going to be inbound again by Dill near side. Substitution coming. Size coming back of Caroline Allen, the senior 6-footer. Back into the heart of things. Tapped away. And tossed up. The foul will earn a trip to the line for Skylar Adams. Adams, a sophomore on the roster. I've seen most everyone on this roster at one time or another for Northwood, and here is the sophomore attacking the bucket.
If there's a college game, we have the officials over there looking at a video to see what flagrant foul that was. It'll take 4 minutes. That was a tough foul.
Instead, a third personal, all that will be assessed. Shockley this time into the contest for Enka. Haley Harwood coming back, and she will be in relief of Faison Jeter, who takes a seat. Next of the DPS free throws. Give me that address one more time. Go to ncdps.gov/careers. Find out more about how you can become a part of North Carolina DPS. After the free throws, up the floor with it. Able to make a move, get in some open real estate is Shockley, but in the end, belongs to Bland. Far side, swatted away by Enka's Hannah Days.
You know, Enka is playing without a true point guard, and it's really hurting with the press.
Walk us through this sequence.
So you're going through it. There's a great block. Really good block.
Saw stands tall there at the end of things. The whistle nonetheless. And here's one underneath the bucket now, and it's going to be inbound by Natalia Bell. That's going to be against Dave's first personal against Dave.
It's a different out of bounds play.
And a third against the Jets. We've been watching the inbounds. This one's going to come out top to Porter. Porter, who at halftime had 14, led all scorers. That double-figure approach. West Shore home three won't go. And two shots coming for 22 as Skylar Adams worked her way back near the basket.
That was a long rebound. Three-pointers. They turn into long rebounds, and that's how they got that offense. Rebound back.
First, nothing but net as the initial of the North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throws goes down. We'll swap out as they put Allen at the midcourt, right on that NC State logo. Jets with the inbound coming for Shockley. Tried to go right back to her. Instead taken away, thrown up by Porter. Kind of went a behind the back type deal. And in the end, Sugar Jet's going to push it up the floor. And a foul called with Natalia Bell close by. Bell with one personal already, so she picks up another here.
And when you trap somebody, the worst thing to do is foul. Or two girls that are trapping is foul. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. You're bailing the person out. The offense plays in struggling.
That was a third team foul for the Chargers. I mentioned it was the second personal on Bell. Here comes Northwood. Right foot over left, and then able to halt and toss it back to Olivia Porter. Adams, Porter for three. Rattles out. They just couldn't quite find the handle as Allen was a whirling dervish in the middle of the paint. Down the left side. Disrupted is Shockley. Back and forth between these two. And a wide open look from near the top of the key, and she'll take it. Points back. Giving credit to the dish is Bland. Shows her ability to shoot from distance. Little give, go. But the iron unkind on the latest shot of Dill.
Look at Jet girls. They're getting tired. There was nobody went to the basket that time. Offensive rebound.
This is an Enka team that 16 and 14 coming in, started the playoffs 11 and 14, and pulled 5 consecutive upsets to reach the state championship game. That's a thing of legend right there. To will yourself, after having a year in which you went 11 and 14 across the regular campaign, to will yourself to rally in the state championship speaks to what Kyle Reagan's team has done, their toughness on display in this playoff.
When I saw that, it has to be somewhere in the top 5 ever to what they did.
Remarkable. It's kind of like what we've seen in some of the conference tournaments across championship week, the last week or so. As long as you keep winning, you get to keep playing. And that certainly will be helpful for Enka. Haley Harwood with a 3 ball from down in the corner.
And Bentley made that's the first time she made a pass. It was good at assist instead of her taking it one-on-one, which she's been doing.
West Shore home 3-ball for Harwood. Her first points of the contest. Good to see the senior get involved. Jets with 28 on the board now. Team total doubling her jersey number. And able to provide open real estate for herself with that move. Olivia Porter adds to her own total.
Well, that was a nice move.
Fans loved it. That much is sure. All the green and gold in the building. Letting you know their thoughts on that last sequence.
That's where Bentley's got to give the ball up. She's getting frustrated. She's tired.
Saw what happened one trip to the next. Playing a little dodgeball over there. Carrie Snipes is out of the way if needed. Likes what she sees at the end. Her team able to find another bucket as Bland again is there with a finish. 55 on the board for the Chargers.
Got to run some offense here and stop going one-on-one.
Both coaches getting involved here in recent moments. Kyle Reagan kind of around the waist there as he tosses that away. And a whistle will take us to our media timeout. 55-28. Chargers in command mid-third.
Parents to have that conversation with their pediatricians.
Vaccines are an important part of the puzzle. We need to step out of ourselves and do what's best for everyone.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to schedule your child's COVID-19 vaccine today.
It's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you. Shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
Well, at the conclusion of this contest, we will have the West Shore Home Player of the Game. West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. That's West Shore Home, the sponsors of tonight's Player of the Game. And we have seen some outstanding player performances throughout the course of this day.
And Olivia Porter, she's 6 for 6 from the field. She hasn't missed.
Yeah, she's making a bid for that for sure. Contact on Whitaker is Natalia Whitaker into the basketball game for Northwood. That foul is going to be charged to Kadisha Adajadu. First personal.
Here's a
Here
different
comes
look.
Whitaker with it. Whitaker to McManaman. And another foul call.
That's an adjustment. It's the first look of a full court press. You know, Olivia, I'm looking at her stats here. She's 6 for 6 from the field. She's 2 for 2 from the three-pointers. She's having a good offensive day.
She is. That foul on Daves. 6th personal on Enka. And dishing it underneath to Bland, who has the finish, but that was created by McManaman, the junior, again a distributor.
Yeah, they're passing the ball around there. Everybody's touching the ball, whereas on the Enka side, at least keeping the ball too much. They need to run an offense here.
Inside the final 2 minutes of the third quarter. Chargers cruising 57-28. And Bland goes up, try to block this, but a couple of shots are coming as she will be whistled for the foul. Well, at the conclusion of the game, not only will we have your player of the game, we will also have the Talk It Out North Carolina play of the game. Start the conversation, stop underage drinking. That's a reminder from your friends at Talk It Out North Carolina, sponsors of our play of the game. And a second North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throw coming for Daves as fresh substitutions. Number of new faces in. A couple of those returning contributors. Gracie Merrill back out there for Enka. They will inbound the basketball here to Natalia Whitaker for Northwood. Whitaker looks ahead. McManaman. McManaman fires away. That would have been a West Shore three. A bit wide. Cleaned up by Porter. Here is Porter. Porter, who 16 points on the stat sheet, is head and shoulders at the top of the books right now on both sides.
It's 3 good looks they had. 3 good looks, 2 offensive rebounds.
There's Dill, leading scorer for Enka. For the majority of this one, she, of course, along with her teammate Shockley, both in double figures. Fans moan and groaning a little bit here as the whistle is assessed. Northwood's with a quick inbound of the basketball, and they'll break the Enka pressure. Far side, into the hands just that quickly.
They're very, you know, Northwood's very well coached. They're composed. They run the offense. They share the ball.
Scramble for it. Whitaker gathers it up.
And they get offensive rebounds.
Well, just about every spot on the floor on the baseline touched that time by McManaman, who laid it all on the line to try to save that basketball, and it'll belong to Enka when all is said and done. But that speaks to the intensity with which this game and this season has been played by Northwoods. It continues, even though there are 57 on the scoreboard and we're inside the final half minute of the third.
They're a very good team. I can see easily why they're here.
30 wins, 1 loss, and looking for that first championship in school history. Northwood a few seconds away from being a period away. And how about beating the horn by laying it home for Enka? Bentley Shockley, leading scorer for the Jets after the way she closed down this third quarter, has Enka to 30. But the Chargers have been in charge from the very beginning, and they carry the lead to the fourth.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builders Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
Something happened to me that day. I've never heard or felt anything like it.
I found the girl. Her powers are beginning to manifest. We can use her.
Superheroes aren't real, right?
But what if they are?
What's happening? I need answers.
We need to get you ready.
Stay back! There's something I need to tell you.
Naomi. It's time for all parents to have that conversation with their pediatricians.
Vaccines are an important part of the puzzle. We need to step out of ourselves and do what's best for everyone.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to schedule your child's COVID-19 vaccine today.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you. Shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
Fourth quarter set to begin. Chargers 57, Jets 30, and it is the Sugar Jets of Enka, as they are affectionately known there in the western North Carolina mountains. Back to work here as they start the fourth period. How about individual performers in this one? Olivia Porter with 16 points, 4 assists, 15 points for Bland in the game for Northwood. Just about everybody a scorer. You've had a total of 8 players on the floor for Northwood. 7 of them have scored, and everybody in one way or another having contributed to the stat sheet. For Enka, 13 points for Chocolate, 10 points for Dill. Those have been the 2 leaders for the Sugar Jets in this unlikely but impressive trip to the state championship environment. This is a team that they came from a below 500 record by winning 5 straight in upset fashion to get to the state championship environment. And they battle it out with one of the great teams all season long in these Chargers. Here's a look at our legacy Federal Credit Union statistics through 3 quarters, and the numbers bear out why you're looking at a 30-1 Northwoods team in complete command.
And you know what's happening now, because Northwood's usually either has some substitutes and have depth. Enka's getting tired. They haven't subbed very much, and they're wearing them down.
Everybody getting to contribute for Northwood. Now that's Bland again, by the way. Bland with 17. So she just became the leading scorer. Porter, so much job in the distribution department as well as the early points when game's still very much in doubt. But what a combo Porter and Bland have been. And Bland also, she's got a shot at a double-double here. Does 12. And she has 8 rebounds to go along with those 17 points, and she's got 5 blocks in the interior. Here she is with the basketball in her hands. On cue, the turnaround just a little bit strong. Didn't quite fall. But she's had a great, great game.
Very good game. The whole team has done very good.
18 solid minutes for Bland. Of course, Porter's been on the floor throughout.
Turnover after turnover.
Here's a look at our Hardy's points in the paint. Decidedly Northwood in that department. Hardy's new bacon, beast menu, crispy bacon in a burger, on a biscuit, on a breakfast burrito. All those options available to you. Pick your own option at Hardy's. Check out their menu, and we thank the folks at Hardy's all day long for keeping track of the points in the paint. You have to go coast to coast, and a foul, which means shots are coming. Or Builders Discount Center free throws on the horizon. Don't just build it tough. That's Builders Discount Center. Sponsored so many of our foul shots today. Here come a few more. 6 fouls apiece on both sides. 6 minutes in essence remaining in the state championship basketball game as the first of the Builders Discount Center free throws comes back out.
We just saw the points in the paint, and that comes from not them trying to get the ball into the paint. It's from stealing the ball, turnovers, ends up to a layup, and offensive rebounds. And that's where the points in the paint are coming from.
Well, basketball in North Carolina, there's nothing quite like it. I mean, you think about a night like this, obviously ACC championship going on elsewhere. You think about all the history in this building as we've talked about throughout. But you were a coach in the ACC during those years in which you had Coach Valvano roaming the sideline on this floor. You had Dean Smith over in Chapel Hill, where other North Carolina State basketball games are taking place right now. Mike Krzyzewski emerging into that world, and obviously his career coming to a close. So many eyes on him. That's why we say basketball in North Carolina, there's nothing quite like it.
Used to call it Tobacco Road when Smokey was in.
Absolutely, all the old Tobacco Road rivalries.
The young kids out here don't know what that was or what it means.
Right here in the triangle. Boy, all those fights in Greensboro and beyond for ACC supremacy. And in all of that has been the North Carolina High School Athletic Association handing out championships for as long as fans here in this state can remember.
You know, you brought that.
Another about to be handed out in 5 minutes from now. The Chargers just trying to close strong here on what would be a 31-1 or a 31-1 campaign and the first championship in school history. So for all the history in this state, we may be seeing a first tonight.
Exactly. And you know what? Talking about that is, I'm watching the ACC now in Brooklyn. Now, I grew up in New York.
Different world, isn't it?
But that's not ACC tournament. It's got to be down here. When I was coaching at Georgia Tech, we played in Greensboro, Charlotte. One time we played up in Maryland. I felt like it was out of sorts.
This is laid home, still fighting, still digging. As Staves lays this home. And how about the hustle here? She disrupts, but it's going to be gathered up by Northwood. Well, as a kid myself, growing up here in the Carolinas, I won't tell you how many different devices we snuck. It didn't have as much luxuries of devices as we have now, but we still snuck the headsets and the radio and everything else in on that Thursday, Friday when the ACC championships were playing. Make sure even if school's going on, you're aware of what's happening. And these that have devoted their season to school, and we haven't gone there, but we probably should. These youngsters on the floor this year, last year particularly, the hurdles they have jumped just to get to school and then to get to practice and to turn that into an opportunity to play for a championship. These 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds have earned and well-earned lifetime memories on days like this.
You're right. You know, they're young, so they really don't know what they really did go through, because they was, as older people know what they went through.
Yeah, what it took to get school open. And congratulations, or credit, I should say, to all those around the state making sure that basketball was played to fruition this year. And it's great to see these games closing down what has been another championship season in the state of North Carolina. Inside 4 minutes to play, 65-33, Chargers leaving little drama, leaving little doubt as to whether they're going to be able to complete a first championship run. That three-point basket going to be waved off on a traveling call, but there's a couple of different ways to win it. You know, you can do it the way we saw in that prior game, in which it takes overtime and in the nail-biter scenario. And then there's this, and Northwood is going to be able to savor it across the last few minutes.
They took total control of the game in the first 5 minutes. Really less than that. It was like the first 3 or 4 minutes.
65-33, Chargers just under 4 away from turning it into a title year.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we resolve to have your back and be your trusted partner in health, so you have the confidence to make caring for your family easy. Visit BlueCrossNC.com to learn more about coverage that's right for you.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you, shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builders Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
How about the year for the Sugar Jets of Enka? Bringing a 16-14 team with 5 consecutive upsets to the state championship environment. Still digging here. It's working her way underneath, just a little bit too strong on this effort. Shockley and company, and then back with it the other way, Northwoods. Well, this is a year that they'll talk about in a very different way. No, it's not going to end in a championship for Enka, but they're going to discuss the year nobody expected them to be here.
Exactly.
And yet they found a way to play in Raleigh at Reynolds Coliseum for a state championship against one of the better teams we've seen in a while. It's 30-1 Chargers squad.
Exactly. They should be proud of what they did, really proud of what they did. And they are playing a very good team.
Yeah, those Cinderella runs, they seem to always come to a close. Midnight eventually strikes, but it's still a Cinderella run that we celebrate in the sport of basketball.
They haven't lost in a while.
Little bounce beyond the rim that's going to be gathered up by Shockley this time. But all eyes and all attention in this next 3 minutes going to turn to the Chargers of Northwood, as that'll rattle down. Coach, you've been on the sideline during these moments when you have a chance to savor them. At what point does it start to sink in, just all the work, just all the preparation, and what it means to be in a moment like this?
And that's what happens, because you know the end of the season is coming. It's going to happen here in two minutes. And so your mind starts moving towards that way, and you're thinking about the whole season. When you get this far, it's really special. When we went to the Final Four, I'll never forget it. And, you know, I'll tell you a story about, so when we went to the Final Four in 1990, our second game was against Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Jackson, great players, and Stanley Roberts. We were down 22 at halftime, so we're not going to the Final Four. This is the second round. Guess what? We came back and won it. Momentum took us to the Final Four.
You just never know.
We were down. Shaq's team. They were shocked. And but we had Dennis Scott. We had 3 very good players.
Wholesale change is coming now as nice round, a nice hand for this Cinderella story that Enka has been. So many of those key contributors bringing their careers to a close, and they receive a nice round from the crew, having made the trip down out of the mountains from Western North Carolina. And boy, these are moments also to savor. Think about some of these players seeing time now. Worley into the game. This is going to be brought up the floor by Caden Engel. Of course, Kelsey Worley we're talking about there on the floor. And it'll be in Kelsey Worley's hands. Out top from Worley to Alice Brown, getting their names called on the floor here at Reynolds in a state championship environment. Quickly hustling back the combo of Engel and Merrill. And we get a stoppage with 1:43 left to play.
She called a timeout right when he was going to score a basket. That's smart. That's smooth.
1:43 on the game clock. And how about Coach? Gary Snipes graduating from Belmont Abbey, taking over the JV girls, and now eventually parlaying that into a varsity championship environment there. Talked about her love for women's basketball, her love for the sport in general, how much of her life she's given over to it. And a day like today is the reward for Carrie Snipes and her entire staff for a lifetime of preparation for what's going to be a first title for Northwood. You hear as the changes are made on the Northwood side of things as well, as they approach 70 on the board, and they approach #1 in the hearts of this fan base.
You know, it's really good for Coach Snipes, but it's good for the whole team. It's special. It's special.
Work through Swansboro, Triton West. Carteret Williams, that Terry Sanford thriller, the 51-50 win, and they had enough drama in that semifinal. They left no drama here, did the Chargers of Northwood, as it's with 1:22 to play. A 68-37 contest. Here's some of the names Northwood getting out there in these moments. Anna Bolajak, who we saw a little bit earlier. Some time for Michelle Ortiz on the floor. Sarah Barber into the contest. Here's the 3-ball. Going to go down for Kylie Carver of Enka. And she has a state championship memory for the Sugar Jets. Ball being handled by Michelle Ortiz. Over to Anna Bolajak. Also into the game, haven't mentioned Meredith Bean just yet, but she's seeing some time in these closing moments along with Sarah Wilds. Full roster, seeing some action. That's the one thing that a sizable lead will give you. You have a chance to get all those players on the floor in the championship game.
Right, and in an event like this, it's nice. Both teams can do it.
And some of them rising to the occasion with shots like the one we just witnessed. There's a bucket for Caden Engel. And 39 seconds left. All smiles on that Northwood Chargers bench for Carrie Snipes. Her personality really rubbing off.
She's really worried, but she wanted to call a timeout and play right away, and I guess they can't do that. And she's worried. She's looking over at Coach Enka because she doesn't look good calling a timeout, but she was trying to get one of her plays in the game.
Yeah, as you said, just trying to make sure we let them all touch the floor,
exactly.
No doubt. But you see her personality shine
she felt
through
bad about that.
in a moment like this, Coach, and you can see how her personality has become the personality of this basketball team.
Exactly. And you know one thing, you have to really, when you're young, you think you can come back here 20 times. You're going to come back here a lot. Well, guess what?
You may not.
You might never come back again.
You always think there's going to be another day. This may turn out to be the only day when it comes to championship dreams in your sports life. And into the hands of Natalia Whitaker. Over far side, Bean. Back to Whitaker. Half minute remaining. The long-awaited final half minute. Whitaker, the bucket to show for it. The freshman drops it in. Chargers with 70 on the board in an impressive championship performance. No program in school history had accomplished what this 30-1 Northwood Chargers girls basketball team wanted to accomplish. And they've turned 2022 into the first school championship. 31-1 in 22 for Carrie Snipes and the Northwood Chargers. They are the 3A girls North Carolina state champions.
Coach Snipes said, we got to make open shots, and the girls made open shots.
Well, I think they made some shots. 70 points up on the board over there. Something we have talked about throughout the day, how difficult it can be to embrace the environment, the newness of the arena. Well, they handled it to the tune of a 70-point performance. And led by Olivia Porter. You think about the job that Bland did today. It was an all-around team effort for Northwood.
Yeah, their depth really bothered them. I think, you know, it's hard to play the game, and I don't want to say they don't have a true point guard. You can't just say to a person, you're playing point. Well, no, it doesn't work that way. You got to go through being a point guard. You can't make somebody a point guard. They didn't have one, and they were doing the best they could do.
Cinderella story, it comes to an end here, but what a Cinderella story for Enka and Carrie Snipes, North Carolina native, North Carolina bound, North Carolina champion at Northwood. We'll be back to wrap it on the other side of the break.
With crispy bacon and fluffy eggs and melty cheese. Whoa, Beast Mode doesn't have to stop for breakfast. Give in to the new Bacon Beast breakfast menu at Hardee's and feed your happy.
Oh, this must be super embarrassing. Let me get that terrible driver I just got pulled over look. Wait, click. Perfect.
Whether you're a driver or a passenger, you're required by law to buckle up or face a fine up to $161. Click it or ticket. Every seat, every time.
You can go 2 Filet-O-Fish. You can go 2 crispy chicken sandwiches. Or you can go spicy. One thing you can't go wrong when you get the Filet-O-Fish, crispy chicken sandwich, or spicy crispy chicken sandwich. Any 2 for $6 at McDonald's.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
You can go 2 Filet-O-Fish. You can go 2 crispy chicken sandwiches. Or you can go spicy. One thing you can't go wrong when you get the Filet-O-Fish, crispy chicken sandwich, or spicy crispy chicken sandwich. Any 2 for $6 at McDonald's.
With crispy bacon and fluffy eggs and melty cheese. Whoa, Beast Mode doesn't have to stop for breakfast. Give in to the new Bacon Beast breakfast menu at Hardee's and feed your happy.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's time for some high school championship basketball, baby. I'm Nelson Weston, and who better to join us than our good friend all the way from Ingalls Markets, Melissa Level. Melissa,
I'm so excited to see you.
I'm always excited to see you as well. Now, you and I both know that Ingalls has had a long-standing partnership with the community in terms of academics and athletics for a long, long time now. Right. The question has to be asked, though, what inspires y'all to want to continue supporting the community?
Well, you know, Ingalls is part of our communities. We're a big corporation, but our stores are individual beacons inside smaller communities. So with that being said, this is a perfect way to do that, supporting young athletes, supporting schools that helps us build bigger, stronger communities.
I like that. Now, speaking of community, you and I both know that in the community, Ingalls is also known for their delicious, mouth-watering, and tasty good food.
Oh, I know.
What are some of your favorite dishes at Ingalls?
You know, I love going to the Ingalls Deli. Everything is already made. I can get a great sub with boar's head beef or pick up a nice hot meal, go to the park, go to the game, no mess, no fuss.
That would hit the spot right about now.
I'm starving.
Now, y'all are also known for y'all's famous Tools for Schools program.
That's right.
Now, on one hand, for those who are unfamiliar, what is Tools for Schools? But more importantly, how does the public get involved?
Well, it's really simple to get involved, and you just have to register your Ingalls Advantage card. That's free, and then attach it to a school of your choice, and every time you shop and use that card, a percentage of your sales go to that school.
Wow.
It's wonderful. It allows teachers and administrators to get the things they need for their school without having to pay for it out of their own pocket. It allows our shoppers, our customers, to be able to benefit the community just by shopping at Ingalls.
Now, just to follow up with that, how long has this program been around? And furthermore, how much in terms of donations have been made since its inception?
It's been around 17 years, and we're close to $23 million in donations.
Close to $23 million?
Yes.
That is outstanding work. Melissa, you and Ingalls, y'all keep up the magnificent work.
Well, thank you.
Folks, it's time for some high school championship basketball. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the game.
Championship medals being awarded to the players, the coaching staff of the 31-1 Northwood Chargers. Just the one setback, and you got to go back to Christmas time. You got to go back to last year, 2021. They were perfect in 22 and 31-1 overall, and claiming a championship. 70 points on the board in a 70-42 win. Let's look at some of the superlatives as you see Coach Carrie Snipes coming to receive her plaque. We will hear from Coach Snipes in just a few moments, have her thoughts about this contest. But you know, her thoughts are very positive when you look at the performance on this night from Olivia Porter. She is our player of the game.
She came in with the name, and she left with the name. She did a great job. She was tough.
Hardy's star performer when you interplay, and she becomes the West Shore home player of the game when all is said and done. Take a look at just how many different areas in which she excelled. Porter, 18 points, 4 assists. She also had a trio of steals, and you said it, one of the great moves of the day. She's our West Shore home player of the game. Boy, that's a priceless memory, isn't it? Snap as many photos as you can. Northwood, a first championship in school history. So many moments to pick from for our play of the game, but we go with the long, long three way downtown.
And you know what? It's the only shot she made from three. She made 1 3.
Gianna McManaman did so many other things. 7 points, also had 3 assists, a couple of steals of her own in this contest today. But that moment earned her our Talk It Out NC play of the game. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking. Let's see Talk It Out play of the game. And the team now celebrating a championship. It's just one of those that was a no-doubter from the very beginning. This is a team that went on a double-digit run to start the game and never looked back.
You know, they started out with the pressure defense, gave them points, and then all of a sudden, out-of-bounds plays, 2 of them gave them points, and then their half-court offense gave them points with the back picks. They were getting some easy lays with back picks, and then they hit the threes. They were scoring from all areas.
Let's hit the roster for you quickly, and we'll let you listen in to some of the sights and sounds before we visit with Coach Snipes. But this is the group that brought it home, the first ever title in Northwood history. Natalia Whitaker, Sarah Barber, Gianna McManahan, Natalie Bell, Sarah Wilds, Takia Bland, Meredith Bean, Skylar Adams, Olivia Porter, who we highlighted, along with McManaman. It was Mila Marvey, a big contributor, Caroline Allen, Anna Bolajak, Michelle Ortiz, all saw time today, and they became state champions in North Carolina. We'll return with Carrie Snipes in just a moment. You'll be listening in to the sights and sounds of this contest and the celebration from it as a champion is crowned at Northwood. So it is a 70-42 win for Northwood. Again, first championship in school history. Just amazing what these young ladies have accomplished, and a complete team effort as they close the day. Our fourth champion to be crowned.
Congratulations.
Here in the state capital of Raleigh, North Carolina. And you hear Coach Cantwell talking to Coach Carrie Snipes as we speak. She is now alongside. And Coach, let us be the first to say congratulations. Just a great performance. I know it's meaningful to you, particularly with your own background, to bring home a North Carolina state championship. But what does it mean to your community and your school as you become the first team sport to claim a title?
This is huge. I mean, the dedication that our girls have had to this team, the community support that we've had, the school support that we've had the whole season, and they really showed out tonight for us and brought a lot of energy into the stadium. It's a big environment and it's a big stage to be playing on, and I think our girls handled it very well. They stepped up to the challenge, knowing that Enka's been on a run. They've got a great ball team. They've played hard all season, particularly when it counted here at the end. But I think our girls' aggressiveness really helped, especially on the defensive end, kind of be able to seal the deal for us.
I know Kevin Cantwell was very impressed with you schematically. I'm sure he has a question or two for you about that.
Yeah, I could. You're scoring. You know, you scored. You started the game off. Your defense scored, and then all of a sudden, your out-of-bounds play scored. Then your half-court offense, the back pick scored. Then you're hitting the threes. You're the first team with 3 games before this one. No one has shot the ball like that today. Everybody struggled here because of the, depth perception. Right. Great job. Great job.
Yeah, it's tough being on a court like this, so we haven't been able to practice in any kind of environment before, but, we got the 20 minutes to warm up, and gosh, that sure did help us tonight because we were able to definitely put the ball in the basket.
Also, your depth. You have a good, solid team. Everybody contributes. Very good. We're well coached. You do a good job.
We do. Everyone that comes in plays 100%. I couldn't be more proud. They've given the effort the whole season. No matter what, we've hit some adversity at times, but they kept pushing through, and it turned out, good for us tonight.
Coach, as you think about the message when you get this whole group together one more time and you reflect upon 2022, which ends up being a first championship season for you, how are you going to put that into words, and what will be the sharing of that with your team?
The whole year we've been talking about just being grateful for the opportunities we had. We've had a great senior leadership group that has really pushed us. Their energy that they bring every day in practice has really the communication that they have with other girls, and just the positive environment that we've been able to kind of share with each other. So just being really grateful and realizing that they played really hard all season, and that's what's been able to get them to this point, and I couldn't be more proud and more happy for them.
Well, congratulations on a great night and an outstanding season. We'll let you celebrate this with your team. It was a great year here in 2022.
Thank you.
Coach, your team's fun to watch. They're fun to watch.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
They've been great to coach, too. Thank y'all so much.
That's the head coach of the Northwood Chargers, 31-1 in 2022. They scored 70 in the state championship environment in Raleigh, North Carolina, and they are the 4th and final team crowned here at Reynolds, and one of the 8 to be crowned on this championship Saturday in North Carolina. That'll do it for us from the campus of NC State, from the state capital of Raleigh, North Carolina. For Kevin Cantwell, my broadcast partner, congratulations to all the champions. Jason Patterson signing off for our crew. A solid championship day in North Carolina.